business line within 2 weeks of their name being drawn to provide their mailing address. Employees and their families of regional radio are not eligible to participate or win any contest.
WTIM. You're listening to the WTIM Morning Show on your information station. The show is sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Reed Kamai, and our last guest this morning is actually making her debut on the WTIM Morning Show, and I'm talking about Shirley Volken, a 4-H program coordinator at the University of Illinois Extension. Shirley, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, it's good to talk to you this Thursday morning as we're talking right now. And like I said, this is your first time on the WTIM Morning Show. Now you're in at the Uni of Illinois Extension. I'd love it if you could share for our listeners a little bit about your background and kind of what led you to this position.
So I have done quite a few things, but youth has always been a passion of mine. And so I actually served as a 4-H program coordinator in Vaughn County, which is my home county, and kind of just wanted to make some transitions as my children have aged out. And so I've transitioned to the Christian County office in the same role as a 4-H program coordinator. So I am loving it and getting to know the Taylorville area and Christian County as a whole.
And Christian County, where did you say you were from previously?
Vaughn County, which is
where's
Greenville. Greenville is the county seat there. So
okay. Oh, all right. Yeah. No, I've heard of Greenville. I hadn't heard of the county. I'm still learning the counties in central and southern Illinois. So all right. So you made that move then to Taylorville. How did you get into like 4-H and that sort of scene, like prior to that?
So I really have a passion for youth and serving my community. And so I actually owned a bakery previously and was looking to kind of change into a different role, and saw the position had posted for Vaughn County, which was a wonderful opportunity for me. And so I'm loving doing that here in Christian County as well. The youth here, there's just so many opportunities. 4-H is such a diverse program that offers opportunities in so many different areas. I know that typically it is often viewed as kind of a livestock and agriculture organization, and we certainly have our foundation in those two categories, but have expanded into STEM and cooking and visual arts, so sewing, nature. Pretty much if you can dream it, you can do it. We have programs in so many diverse areas, so it's great for all youth.
And I'm sure you'll talk more about that as well as we go on. So you went from owning a bakery to obviously working in 4-H. What was like going back even further? I know I keep taking us backwards here, but why or not why, but what did you initially kind of envision yourself going into career-wise?
So I actually went to school for special education, and that is truly a passion area of mine. Still to this day, that is a passion. But the school system, I kind of was a little bit burnt out in working in those spaces. So I tried to kind of transition into a different space. And my mom owned a bakery, so I went into that, and then realistically, while I loved business ownership, it just really wasn't necessarily where I wanted to stay long term. And so I was kind of looking for an opportunity to work with youth again.
Nice. So you went from youth to business, back to youth, and you were able to make that happen. What were those career switches like? Where was it? Did it make you kind of nervous about it maybe not working out? What was that like?
I mean, every transition has, its pros and its cons, right? So it was a little nerve-wracking at first, but it's been a wonderful transition. This is truly where my passion lies, and I think that helps tremendously. And the wonderful thing about University of Illinois Extension and 4-H specifically is that there is never a dull moment. There's so much opportunity and so much diversity within what we do that every day can be something different. And really, there's a lot of opportunity to kind of steer that in directions that I'm really passionate about. So it's been extremely fulfilling, and I love that.
And I know the extension certainly does a lot. I was even at your offices last week. In fact, I may have even seen you, although I don't recall off the top of my head. But yeah, certainly a lot of stuff that goes on. Anything else you want to highlight kind of about your background and what led you to here before we kind of look ahead?
I mean, I just think that just all of the things we talked about, that passion, my special education background is something I'm hoping to really also be able to tap into within 4-H. I know sometimes that is an area that not everyone quite has expertise in, and so that is an area that I'm really hoping to kind of tap into here in Christian County.
Yeah, well, we'll see what comes up of that. I'm sure we'll hear about it plenty here on the WTIM Morning Show. I'm talking right now with Cheryl Lee Volken, 4-H program coordinator at the University of Illinois Extension. And before you and I came on the air, we were talking a little bit about some of the upcoming workshops that are coming up. Anything in terms of that you want to highlight for our listeners?
So coming up just around the corner on February 25th, we do have a plant terrarium workshop. And then in March, scrapbooking workshop. And in April, we'll have a canning with strawberry jam workshop. So as you can see, lots of diversity within the workshops that we offer. I did see the plant terrarium workshop in Montgomery County last night, and that one is super cute. I think the kids will love it. We do have a few spaces still left in that workshop that kids can sign up for. And I believe that is open to all youth age 8 to 18 for that one.
Okay, nice. So a lot of different workshops coming up. Do you have the times and locations for that as well?
Yeah, sorry, I have to pull that up real quick.
Yeah, no worries.
I didn't have that pulled up just yet.
Yeah, I just want to make sure our listeners can get out there if they want to.
Yeah, and the way that you can register for those is our website is go.illinois.edu/CJMM events. So you can go and you can see all the events that we do in all 4 of the counties that we serve there. So if that's helpful to people, certainly I encourage you to go there. And that terrarium workshop on the 25th is at 5:30 till 6:30 at our Christian County Extension office. There is a fee for that one. However, if anyone out there is wanting to do it and the financial piece is a barrier, please reach out and let us know. We do have some resources to help with those types of things. So the scrapbooking workshop is the March 17th from 6 to 7, also at our Christian County Extension office there in Taylorville. And canning is April 2nd from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the First Baptist Church.
All right. So you've got the details of all of those events coming up, and looking forward to hearing how that turns out. Anything else you want to share about these workshops or anything else before we go to a commercial break?
So these workshops really just kind of speak to some of the project areas. If a youth is not in 4-H, they're certainly welcome to these events. We hope that these things will light a spark within someone, within an interest area or a new interest area, that they can continue on and dive a little deeper. And if they are interested in joining 4-H, we still have those opportunities, and they can present projects in those areas at the local and potentially state level.
A lot of great ways for folks to get involved, and I always love hearing about these kinds of events. They're a lot of different topics, right? And that's stuff that folks can either if they're interested in it, then they can show it there, and if they're not interested in it first, maybe they will be after the event, after having gone, which is why I love hearing about this stuff. I'm talking again with Shirley Volken, 4-H program coordinator at the University of Illinois Extension. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more with Shirley right here on the WTIM Morning Show on your information station.
Your information station, WTIM.
Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Corn and beans steady. Wheat trading higher. March corn down 1 3/4, 4.25 1/4. May corn down 1 1/4, 4.35 1/2. And December new crop 4.59 3/4, down 1 1/4. March beans 11.37 1/4, up 3 3/4. May beans up 3.11.52, and new crop November 11.14 1/2, down 2. March Chicago wheat 5.56 3/4, up 9 3/4. March KC wheat 5.60 1/2, up 9 1/2. March bean meal up $1.50, 305.40. March bean oil 58.92, up 33 cents. Livestock trade, March feeders up 67 cents, 371.25. February live cattle 246.77, up 17 cents. April lean hogs 92.75, up 20 cents. Energy market, March crude oil 66.01, up 82 cents. RFD Radio Network.
The Lady Tornado basketball team are on 96.5 thechill.com again this season. Listen on air or online for Lady Tornado basketball and playoff games, brought to you by the Taylorville Community Credit Union, the Christian County YMCA, Rural Rentals, and Scooters Coffee.
The purple and gold are coming your way. The Taylorville Tornadoes are going to do it today.
Looking to save more and stress less? This is Will Perkins. At Taylorville Community Credit Union, we're here to help you build a stronger financial future with great loan and deposit rates, convenient locations, and service from people you know and trust. We're member-owned, member-focused, and proud to serve anyone who lives or works in Christian, Montgomery, or Shelby counties. Discover the credit union difference. TCCU is your partner in financial success. Member NCUA.
If you're 40 and over, you'll recognize these artists by their first names: Frank, Dean, Sammy, Andy, Nat, Diana, Michael. Well, here's the big news. You can now hear Central Illinois' largest music library with over 3,500 songs on air and online at 965thechill.com. Tune in on the FM dial in Christian County and on your computer or smartphone. Hear these great artists and many more 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on 965thechill.com.
Pastor Brian Moore here from Locust Grove Church near Assumption. We are alive and so worth the drive. Find directions to our church and watch our video podcast by clicking our icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
WTIM AM, FM, and online on the WTIM mobile app and Amazon Alexa is your ag information station with over 8 hours a day of agriculture programming and our own local farm broadcaster. Tune in to WTIM, your ag information station.
WTIM.
And welcome back to the WTIM Morning Show on your information station. The show is sponsored by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville. I'm your host, Reed Kamai, and I continue my conversation in this block of the show with Shirley Volken, the 4-H program coordinator at the University of Illinois Extension. And we talked plenty in the first segment about her background in 4-H work and some of the workshops coming up. And I'd love to focus a little more on what you, Shirley, are doing specifically, because I understand you're not the only 4-H program coordinator. And indeed, we've had another one on the show before. So what is it that you specifically do to get the extension's 4-H work running smoothly?
Yeah, Reed. So there are two of us that are 4-H program coordinators, and we both serve Christian and Montgomery County, but in different roles. It kind of has this is a new approach to kind of allow us to streamline some of the work and get more opportunities out there for the youth of both of those counties. My focus really is volunteer and member support. That is probably a very large part of, it is a very large part of what I do. So that's just giving, I don't know how familiar you are with the model of 4-H through extension, but we do have a lot of volunteers that really kind of help keep these programs running as club leaders and other roles like that. So part of my role is making sure that they are fully supported with things that they need, as well as other additional opportunities for our members. I do also support our youth leadership team, so I work very closely. We have 12 youth in Christian County on that youth leadership team that ranges from 8th grade on up, and just delving into leadership opportunities with those kids and helping them to find their own space, their own leadership style, and the things that they're passionate about leading. The other thing that will be in my wheelhouse is getting into some classrooms. So I'm working this spring on getting some things set up to be in contact with teachers to try to get in classrooms in the fall throughout Christian County, and making sure that we're just getting some of our programming into the hands of teachers and in front of our youth, because we do offer so much more than just the after school opportunities. So that is what I do. Those are the big things.
No, and there's a lot that you shared there that really caught my eye. You were talking about the youth leadership group, and that's got to be, I imagine, for you, and you've worked in special ed before, you've worked with kids, so it's got to be really rewarding to see students at that age level. I think you said 8th grade and up, get that experience and develop the leadership skills that they're going to need going forward.
That is probably absolutely one of my favorite parts of the job, honestly. Watching youth grow in their leadership is truly remarkable. I think we often sell our youth short, and don't realize all the things that they are capable of. And seeing youth at that age, to some of them come in with more leadership skills than you would expect, and do a phenomenal job. And then just getting to watch kids find themselves within those spaces, find their voice. It's truly one of the most rewarding parts of the job.
And then in terms of working directly with youth, you also mentioned going into some classrooms. So is this something you've done already in your time at the extension, or is that coming up later?
So that'll be coming up. I've only been here with Extension. It was 6 months yesterday. So I've been kind of like getting my feet underneath me here, getting a solid foundation laid in some of the other categories, and trying to get some programming put together that is easily accessible for teachers throughout various grade levels, and make some connections. So here this spring, we're focusing on making some connections and having some programming laid out that we can offer to get into classrooms in the fall. But even though I've been here about 6 months, felt like it was really important to make sure that I had a solid foundation so that we could really make sure I'm giving my absolute best to the teachers and youth of Christian County as we get into classrooms.
Well, that's exciting, and I can't wait to hear what comes of that. I'm sure we'll have you back on it at some point. So those classroom visits are coming up. I'll tell you what, Shirley, we've got about 90 seconds left. So when it comes to people wanting to enroll, not just in the events, but in 4-H in general, is there anything coming up that folks should know about if they want to get involved?
So if kids are wanting to enroll or families are wanting to check it out, they can call our office at 217-287-7246, or they can email me directly at vulcan@illinois.edu. And my last name is spelled a little differently, so I'll go ahead and spell that out for you. It's V as in Victor, OHLKEN at Illinois, all spelled out, .edu. Those are probably the easiest ways to get in contact with me directly, to find out about opportunities for getting involved and getting your kids signed up. We do have a new club that actually just started this past month. And so that is an area that would be wonderful for kids to get involved with.
So you've got the clubs coming up as well. About 30 seconds left. Any final thoughts you want to share before you have to go off?
Just that if you are not familiar with 4-H, I would really encourage you to check it out. We have so many opportunities beyond livestock, but still a very solid foundation within those livestock and agriculture spaces. And again, if you can dream it, you can do it. And we would love to help our youth grow in those spaces.
I love it. Shirley Volkin, 4-H program coordinator at the University of Illinois Extension. Shirley, I almost said the name wrong. Shirley, thanks for coming on again.
Thanks for having me.
And this is the WTIM Morning Show. Have a good day.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville. 96.1 FM Taylorville. 107.